Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler is off. Jamal Hill has pulled out with his fight against Carlos Ulberg, and Khamzat Chimaev once again is not fighting. What a fucking shit show. What a fucking nightmare for the UFC this has become. Let's start with the biggest one. Conor McGregor, for the first time in his whole career, has pulled out of a fight against Michael Chandler. I can't even believe I'm saying this. But Alex Pereira, being the absolute Brazilian Chad and the savior of the UFC, steps in to fight Yuri Prochazka on fucking like 2 or 3 weeks notice. Listen, these fought back in November. Pereira, early stoppage. It's kind of hard to see it going a different way, but McGregor Chandler, it sucks, man. And Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez is on this card. That is a fucking banger slept on fight. McGregor, man, it's over. It's over. We need to get this out of our head now. McGregor isn't fighting. McGregor's not coming back. I made him a video a while ago talking about, is Conor McGregor coming back? And I didn't actually know. I was 50-50 on the fence. I was kind of leaning towards yes, simply because it's McGregor, and I thought, right, he's going to come back against Chandler, and even if he loses, then it's it. But I can see him fighting just one more time. But then you kind of see videos come out, and then you see him partying, you see him having a drink, and like, that's a little bit worrying. But then you see him full on partying, literally 3 weeks before the fight. And then you're like, oh, fuck. This is serious. And then the press conference got cancelled. And I think that's when people really shit themselves. Because even if he's partying, it doesn't mean he's going to pull out. It just means he's not taking it that seriously. What happened with the injury, we don't know as of yet. It's not been said, but it must be pretty fucking bad. But it's just such a shame, because if you're Michael Chandler, you have to feel for Chandler here. You have to feel for Chandler, because the dude has waited so long. Literally so long for this fight. And he doesn't get it. What's Chandler going to do now? Does he just go back to fighting normal competition? Does he wait even longer? Is this fight going to be booked at the end of summer? Is this fight going to be booked for MSG? What's going to happen now? We need answers. And Michael Chandler needs answers, because if this fight happens, let's say it happens at the last pay-per-view in December, that will be over 2 years since Michael Chandler has fought. And it'll be over 2.5 years since he's got a win. His last win was Tony Ferguson. Since then, he's got finished by Dustin Poirier. Listen, man, it's a bit of a fucking nightmare for the UFC. And then, of course, the co-main event was Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg. And then I saw a few speculations about, right, if McGregor pulls out, they'll kind of scavenge something, and they could do an interim belt for Ulberg versus Hill. But that doesn't make any fucking sense either, because it's not like Pereira's out for ages. Pereira took the fight in 2 weeks' notice, for fuck's sake. The dude is an absolute chad. Alex Pereira is one of my favourite fighters of all time. The dude is the biggest fucking stud. He doesn't care. 1 week, 2 fight, it doesn't matter. This dude is a fucking beast. Yuri Prochazka needs credit too, because he took this fight on short notice as well. So, how does that fight go? Pereira KO, I think. But to be fair to the UFC, in the short amount of time that they had to scavenge this, they did the best they could. In fairness to them, I honestly thought, and I genuinely mean this, I saw McGregor pulling out with an injury. I genuinely could have seen them doing Max Holloway versus Chandler at 170 for that BMF belt. I said it. I would not have been surprised if that happened. Because we know Holloway will take it. 170, 155, it doesn't matter. Holloway will take it. Against Michael Chandler as well, who isn't watching that fight. Holloway would have absolutely destroyed him. But that's for another day. Anyway, so that's kind of the situation now. You have Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez, which is a way better co-main event in my opinion than Carlos Ulberg versus Jamal Hill. I'm very happy that they have that as the co-main event, to be quite honest with you. How does that fight go? I think Ortega will take that. Ortega seems to do his best work on short notice. He knocked out Frank Yeager in the first round when Frankie was fighting for the belt, when Max Holloway pulled out. And his coaches talk about he does his best work on short notice. I think this is going to suit Ortega. I don't think Diego Lopez is really a threat on the ground to Ortega, simply because Ortega's aura of it's a bit like Oliveira, like that Charles Oliveira aura. Ortega once had that, and he submitted Yair Rodriguez. You don't fuck with this guy on the ground. He's got decent striking, but he just gets so much damage. But that's a class main event. And last but not least, Khamzat Chimaev is out of another fight. This dude, he seems to just get really shit luck. Listen, I'm not bashing him because he seems ill. I'm not calling him scared or I didn't want to fight. No, it's not that at all. I do think Khamzat cannot fight. He's that sick. But the dude, I don't know if it's an overtraining issue where he gets really sick all the time because he's just completely destroying his body and then he's low on calories and then he gets sick and then he might get injured. Something like that. But the dude seems to just get the worst look at the worst time. He pulled out twice against Leon Edwards due to COVID issues. In fairness, the Nate Diaz one, he fucked that up himself. I didn't really have any pity for them. That's when I kind of stopped liking Khamzat because he just said fuck all the fans. And now this one, he's seriously ill 2 or 3 weeks before the fight. It's a bit shit, man, because, you know, I was really looking forward to that Whittaker fight. The replacement's a decent fight, but it's nothing compared to what... it's nothing compared to what the Khamzat versus Whittaker fight was going to be. All in all, the UFC is in a bit of a fucking shit state at the moment, man. It's a bit of a fucking shit state. I'm gonna make a video on the Pereira one. I'm gonna make a video on the Whittaker one. I just kind of want to touch on it briefly, but the McGregor one is really fucking sad because that was going to be the moment, bro. We were all waiting for that moment. This was the return. It's been nearly 3 years, and the dude is back. Against Chandler, somebody can beat. They did the Ultimate Fighter. They were going to do the Dublin. I think the Dublin press conference is when people are like, "Oh fuck," so this really mightn't be happening now. Which is shit, man. Which is fucking shit. But I don't think. Listen, if you're a Conor McGregor fan and you're waiting, you're sitting by the edge of your seat waiting for McGregor to come back, you need to get that shit out of your fucking head. And you need to get out of your head now. This dude isn't fighting. This dude has done everything he can. That injury was way too much. He's pulling out from injuries now. He doesn't train hard. He doesn't look after himself. He's not disciplined anymore. He's done. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to get that out of your head. You need to stop listening to this fucking dude saying he's going to put on a clinic and a title run. You just need to forget about what he says. I am not taking what he said seriously in years. But yeah, man, the UFC is in a fucking state at the moment. They're doing the best they can with the replacements. Obviously, it's not what we all paid for. It's not what we all want to see. But they've delivered the best they can on short notice. And I respect what they're doing here. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what's going to happen. Ortega Lopez, I'm really happy about that fight. I must say, I'm very excited for that. But that's all for this one. I'm going to catch you soon with another video breaking down the other fights. Enjoy.